Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Football Fridays with Rashad Mitchell live on YouTube. Let's get into the recap of the college football NFL from last week. Let's get into the college football. You had a lot of upsets. We're going to start with, though, the game of the week on paper, Texas versus Michigan. Give shout out to Texas, man. They got it done 31-12. Very impressive win on the road, snapping the 23-game home winning streak that Michigan had going into this game. It's the second consecutive year that Texas beat a team that had a long winning streak. The year before, they beat Alabama 34-24, and they won that game, snapping their 21-game home winning streak. So Texas was able to just get it done on the road, showing they are true contenders. Quinn Ewers threw for 3 touchdowns. And again, Michigan is just not as good as they was last year. Simple as that. Got a new head coach, new stars compared to what happened last year. Most of the stars are gone. So give credit to Texas going to a hostile environment win. And also Texas became the first school to beat Michigan and Alabama on the road in consecutive seasons since Notre Dame pulled it off back in 1979 and 1980 with different quarterbacks. So it's been a long time since that happened. And also Michigan had a lot of streaks on the line that was snapped. They had a Big Ten record, 29 consecutive regular season games, that was one. They had 23 straight home games, that was one. And they won 16 in a row. Since they lost to TCU in the 2022 college football playoff. So we'll see where Michigan goes from here. After a win like this, very dominating performance. This game was not even close. So Sharon Moore have to rally the troops and try to get them back in contention for a national championship, possibly or playoff. All right, let's move on from there. You had a lot of upsets, man. You're going to start with Notre Dame losing 16-14 to Northern Illinois, just a classic letdown. Simple as that. You beat Texas A&M on the road, you come home and you lose on a field goal hit by Cannon Woodall, 35 yards out with 31 seconds left. Notre Dame had a chance to win it, but the kick by Haberman, Kay Haberman, was blocked. 62-yard try. They lost 16-14, upset. So Notre Dame got to go back to the drawing board and try to get back into contention for the playoffs. So you got to bring an A game every week. Simple as that. Iowa State beat Iowa, the arch rival, 20-19. Iowa was ranked going into this game. They lose a 54-yard field goal that was made by Cal Conradi. Upsets Georgia Tech. It got beat by Syracuse, 31-28. Syracuse was ranked number 23 in the country. That was an upset. I guess we see it for as upsets. The impressive wins, definitely Tennessee blowing out North Carolina State 51-10. That was a big time win. On neutral field, throwing for 276 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's basically it with the college football. Oregon won a close one against Boise State, 37-34. All right, let's get my picks of the week from last week. Talk about how I did. overall, I was 6-3 at the week one. The week two, I was 4-1. Texas over Michigan, Georgia Tech over Syracuse. I was wrong about that game. Miami over Florida A&M. I was right about that game. Tennessee over NC State, and Oregon over Boise State. So I was 4-1. So overall, I am 10-4 on the season. Picks of the week. Let's get into the games for tomorrow. Picks of the week. I got Alabama over Wisconsin. I got Oregon over Oregon State, Miami over Ball State, Georgia over Kentucky, and Missouri over Boston College. That's what I have for tomorrow. Let's look at Alabama. Really, these teams, play each other. Alabama, Wisconsin. Rare trip. You look at this matchup. Alabama is facing a team that's 2-0 in Wisconsin. They're 2-0. They're seeking their first 3-0 start since 2019. If Wisconsin can pull off the upset, Alabama will be the highest ranked SEC conference team that any Big Ten program has ever defeated in the regular season. The Badgers also are aiming for their first win over a top 5 opponent since beating number 5 LSU 16-14 at Lambeau Field to kick off the 2016 season. Alabama looks to improve to 16-1 in its last 17 road openers. Its only road opening loss during that stretch came in 2014 against Mississippi. Now, key matchup in this matchup you can keep your eyes on is Alabama's wide receiver Ryan Williams against Ricardo Hallman of Wisconsin. Keep your eyes on that matchup. Williams was the nation's number 4 overall prospect in his class. The freshman has opened his career with 6 catches for 207 yards, and 3 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Player to watch obviously is Jalen Monroe for Alabama. He has accounted for 9 touchdowns in total, 5 passing and 4 rushing. And then Hunter Wohler, the safety of Wisconsin. Keep your eyes on him. He has 15 tackles, which is a team high, and 2 breakups, pass breakups. His 10 solo tackles put him in a tie for second place in the Big Ten. For Alabama, this is their first true road game against a team from north of the Mason-Dixie line since they win back in 2011 against Penn State. Also, this marks Alabama's first visit to Camp Randall Stadium since 1928, when the Badgers beat the Crimson Tide 15-0. Also, Wisconsin will be honoring 1999 Heisman Trophy winner Ron Dayne. Also, Wisconsin's 2-11 in its last 13 games against teams ranked in the top 25 in the Associated Press poll. So let's look at that matchup for tomorrow. Oregon State. Let's look for this match. I was just a rivalry, the Battle of Oregon. The thing about Oregon, they have not played well up to their standards. The offensive line has been, pretty difficult from week 1 to week 2. Boise State's defense, they sacked quarterback Dylan Gabriel 4 times, and Oregon had just 109 yards rushing. Haven't played their best football yet. As for the Beavers, through their first 2 games, they're 2-0 as well. The Beavers are averaging nearly 300 yards on the ground per game and ranked 5th in the nation. So Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback of Oregon, has put up big numbers. 4 touchdowns, 623 yards. He ranks 3rd nationally for completion percentage, 59 70 passes. Then Giovanni McCoy of the Beavers of Oregon State is thrown for 295 yards and 2 touchdowns. This is the 128th meeting in the rivalry known as the Civil War. It's the seventh most contested game ever, so it's a rivalry 68, 49 to 10. Oregon leads in the series, but Oregon has won the last two played at their stadium in Reason Stadium. So see what happens. Also, this is the first time in this rivalry that this game has been played, will be played in September. So something new for this rivalry being played in September. But I got Oregon winning that game. I got Alabama winning that game. Miami versus Ball State. Miami's ranked in the top 10. First time, gotta be like 4 years that they're, ranked in the top 10. It's been a long time for us, being the top 10 team after 2 games. Some that until now hadn't been the case in any of the last 15 years. So it's something new around this, after 2 games. So Hurricanes gotta be focused, gotta be locked in. The Hurricanes looking good. They're unbeaten start. They're 6th nationally in third down offense, 7th nationally in third down defense, 12th nationally in scoring offense. So that's the narrative with that. But again, at the same time, I have to be careful because Northern Illinois coming from the MAC conference, they beat Notre Dame last week. So it's the fourth time that a MAC school topped the top 10 team. So Ball State will try to join that list. So Miami has to be alert. And also you had Marshall, they beat number 6 Kansas State 27-20. Toledo beat number 9 Pittsburgh 35-31 2003. Miami of Ohio beat number 8 LSU 21-12 1986. So Miami has to be careful, gotta be focused, locked in. So we'll see what happens. I got Miami winning though. So we got Oregon over Oregon State, Alabama over Wisconsin, Miami over Ball State. The fourth game I have it's an interesting game right here. Missouri versus Wisconsin. Excuse me, Missouri versus Boston College. Number 24 versus number 6. Missouri's ranked number 6 against Boston College number 24. It's a big ACC versus SEC showdown. No unusual kind of matchup, but it's an interesting matchup. Boston College coming off a big win against Florida State. See how they get ready for this game. And Boston College has been a long time. They're into the AP Top 25 this week for the first times in about 6 years, 2018, November 11th. So see how they handle being ranked. Meanwhile, Missouri has one of the deepest wide receiving groups in the SEC. You look at Burden and Weiss at full speed. Brady Cook throwing the ball short passes rather than deep shots down the field. Luther Burden III and Theo Weiss Jr. When you look at this matchup in Columbia, Missouri, Boston, Missouri game is the only one Saturday that pits two ranked teams, other than tonight's game with number 20 Arizona against number 14 Kansas State. So there's going to be a lot of attention in Columbia, where the Tigers have won 18 consecutive home games. That's tied the school record set from 2005-2012. So keep your eyes on that matchup. I like Missouri over Boston College. And finally, I got Georgia over Kentucky. Georgia's trying to do is trying to make it 15 consecutive wins over Kentucky, and Wildcats trying to avoid being 0-2 in the SEC after losing to South Carolina. Key matchup is keep your eyes on the scoring defense of Georgia. They're tied for fourth in the FBS with just 2 second-half field goals allowed to Clemson and Tennessee Tech. That's to keep your eyes on is the scoring defense of Georgia. And then you look at the players to watch for Georgia. Carson Beck, who I think is going to win the Heisman. Threw 5 touchdown passes against Tennessee Tech. He's 53 yards away from 5,000 in his career for his yards, and has completed 72% of his passes for 520 yards, 7 touchdowns. And also for Kentucky, keep your eyes on Jamin Dumas-Johnson, the linebacker who transferred from Georgia last winter, who earned AP second team All-American selection 2022. Keep your eyes on him. Then we look at the Bulldogs. They're definitely dominating in the regular season. An SEC record, 27 consecutive regular season wins. Keep your eyes on that. But I like Georgia in this game. All right, so let's look at the college football landscape. Let's look at the game tonight between ranked opponents Arizona versus Kansas State. Number 20 Arizona versus number 14 Kansas State, and Kansas State is winning 28-7. So they're making a statement tonight in a battle of unbeaten of 2-0 teams. Kansas State is making a statement against the ranked opponent, 28-7 over Arizona. All right, so let's get into the National Football League. Look back at what took place last week. Yesterday you had Thursday Night Football start off week 2. The Buffalo Bills beat the Dolphins 31-10. Obviously, there's a big story. Tua Tagovailoa having another concussion. That's not good. So, I have to be out for a while, possibly. All right, let's fast forward to week 1. It took place on Sunday. Now, last Friday, the Eagles beat the Packers 34-29. Saquon Barkley had 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 catching a touchdown, and ran 109 yards on 24 carries. In his debut as a Eagle, making the Giants no regret not signing him. The Ravens obviously beat Ravens lost to the Chiefs 27-20. All right, so let's go to last week's matchups. The Buffalo Bills, man, even without the service of Gabe Davidson, without the service of Stephon Diggs, he was able to win 34-28 coming from behind, trailing 17-0, 17-3, and winning the game 34-28 going away. Josh Allen 2 touchdown passes. Cook had 71 yards rushing. It's just like a wide receiver by committee because they don't have like a true number 1, but they're off to a 2-0 start overall. That was a big win in week 1 for the Bills, and they won last night against Dolphins 31-10. The upset of the week last week, our question was Patriots beating the Bengals. I didn't see that happening. Obviously, they're going to miss Joe Mixon. Rod Mayo's debut win. They haven't their business. They were a bad team. They got up to 13-0 start. Played great defense. That's what makes the difference. Stevenson, the running back, ran for over 100 yards. Ramondre Stevenson did his thing as he won 16-10. Very shocking. The Giants got outplayed at home again, being outscored 68-6 when it comes to these season home openers. They honored the 100 greatest Giants, and they played like that. Got outclassed by the Vikings, losing 28-6. And Daniel Jones threw a pick 6. He continued to struggle, not to esteem himself as truly worth the money that he was paid to him. He has to do better. We'll see what happens. But give credit to the Vikings. They did what they had to do on defense. Offensively, they played well. Even Justin Jefferson, he didn't have a big game, but he still scored a touchdown. Um, they had a 99-yard drive that led to a touchdown. And for the Giants, man, you just can't play like that. That kind of performance. 2 interceptions, 186 yards. Man, you just got to do better. So we'll see what happens against Washington. A strange game between the Bears and the Titans, man. This is crazy because the Bears won this game despite not having an offensive touchdown. They kicked 3 field goals, scored on a block punt and a interception. Strange. And they was able to still win 24-17. And in the Super Bowl era, teams that scored 0 touchdowns and trailed by 17 or more points are 1,225. And 2 of those wins are by Chicago. You know, this game against the Titans and the game against Arizona back in 2006 and Kansas City did it in 2016. So they won in a strange way. So they got to do better, obviously. So we'll see what happens. I was surprised the Saints beat the Panthers. Steelers did with field goals. They kicked 6 field goals against the Falcons, winning 18-10. Boswell. Obviously, what's name didn't play. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields played. Then you had the Dolphins overcoming the 17-0 deficit. Obviously, the Tyreek Hill situation, being arrested, stopped by police for speeding, but then distracted from having a big game. He had 7 catches for 180 yards or something like that. He had an 80-yard touchdown catch. Game that the Dolphins should have lost, but yeah, he had 7 catches for 130 yards. As they won 20-17 on a field goal by Jason Sanders. Oh, no, it was down 17-7, excuse me, 17-7. Game that Jacksonville should have won. But the Texans showing their true colors in mid-season form. C.J. Stroud played very well in this game. Threw for 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 24-32. Got the ball to receiving core. Nico Collins, 117 yards, 6 catches. Joe Mixon, the newly acquired, no Joe Mixon coming from Cincinnati, 30 carries, 159 yards, and a touchdown. And Stephon Diggs played well. 6 catches, not gaudy numbers, but he did catch 2 touchdowns. So this team looks good, man. C.J. Stroud and this offense that's won 29-27. This was not a great game. The Chargers, in the debut of Jim Harbaugh coaching the Chargers, they won. J.K. Dobbins had 135 yards rushing. They won 22-10. Seahawks beat the Denver Broncos by a score of 26-20. Couldn't get into this game, but they won this game. The Cowboys begin the season against the Browns, handling their business against the Browns, winning 33-17. Deshaun Watson continued to struggle, not distinguish himself as a big-time quarterback with the Cleveland Browns. And on the day that Dak Prescott got the biggest contract in NFL history, he was able to play solid. 1 touchdown pass, 179 yards. Ezekiel Elliott is back with the Cowboys, and he played a solid 40 yards rushing and a touchdown. 33-17 was the final score. Washington versus Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay looked good in their first game. Baker Mayfield was 24 out of 30, 289 yards, 4 touchdown passes. Um, Two of them to Mike Evans as they won the game 37-20. But the best game of the week, our question was the Rams-Lions game. The Lions, a lot of high expectations. Keep your eyes on Jameson Williams. He definitely going to be one of the all-time great receivers when it's all said and done, maybe the best receiver to play for Detroit since Megatron. Calvin Johnson, he's very explosive. 5 catches for 121 yards, a touchdown. You know, the Lions had control of this game. They was up by a score of 17-3, but they came back. The Rams give them credit to tie the game up. So not to tie the game up, to actually take the lead. Cooper Kupp touchdown catch. Kupp had 14 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. Stafford threw for over 300 yards. And they was able to take the lead, but give credit to the Lions. They tied the game up. They forced overtime. They won 26-20 on a walk-off game-winning 1-yard touchdown run by David Montgomery, who had 91 yards on a touchdown. And the Lions won that game. Then the Jets went to play San Francisco on the road and got beat down 32-19. Even without the service of Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason made up for it, filling in for him. Ran for 147 yards, a touchdown, 28 carries, wore down that defense of the Jets, and they won 32-19. Aaron Rodgers, he was back. He played solid, 167 yards passing and a touchdown, but he did throw an interception. It was all about the running game of the San Francisco 49ers and how much they scored, kept scoring, making plays, making it happen. Going, that scoring position, just keep scoring on their possessions. Right, so that's it for that. Look at the recap. Let's look into the games and what you need to know for these games. And the storyline is McCaffrey's out this week again. May have an IR under be under consideration. So McCaffrey's out. When I was not healthy, so Mason will have to step up again in place of him. All right, so let's get into the games to keep your eyes on for week 2. Like obviously, it already started yesterday with the Bills beating the Dolphins 31-10 on the road. They're 2-0. Let's get into what you need to know about this week's games for Sunday. Cowboys play the Saints this week. Storyline to watch for the Saints is Kool-Aid McKinstry took the place of Marshawn Lattimore, who had left early, and again gets pains with a hamstring injury. And the Saints also could be bracing for more offensive line help after Lucas Patrick hurt his toe against the Panthers. He's going against the Cowboys defense that had 6 sacks last week against Cleveland. For the Cowboys, it's the first time since the last time the Cowboys played at AT&T Stadium. They suffered one of the worst playoff defeats in team history, losing 48-32 to Green Bay. But they carry into Sunday's game, a 16-game winning streak at home in the regular season. It's the second longest home winning streak in team history as far as the regular season is concerned. And last season, they outscored opponents for 172 points at home. Largest single season differential in team history. If the Cowboys get to 17 straight home wins, they will go to 2-0 in back-to-back season for the first time since 2007-2008. So that knows that the Saints and the Cowboys have felt multiple turnovers in 3 straight games dating back to last season, which is tied for the second longest active streak in the NFL behind the Giants. This is a rematch from last year's divisional playoff round matchup between the Lions and the Buccaneers, where the Lions won 31-23. Keep your eyes on The offense leading heavily, but the defense suddenly decimated by injuries. Whether it be the first round draft pick of 2023, Khalija can't see with a calf injury, defensive lineman Logan Hall with a foot injury. Last week they saw not only three cornerbacks go down with injury, but all pro safety Antoine Winfield Jr. as well being out. So keep your eyes on the defense. The storyline for the Lions is keep your eyes on Amon Ross St. Brown. Didn't play have an effective game. Only caught 3 passes for 13 yards. He has a history of success against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Had 12 catches and a touchdown in Week 6 of the regular season matchup against the Buccaneers, and touchdown in the divisional round. So look for him to get more touches. Zach knows that the Lions are only the fourth team in league history to start with 2 playoff rematches from the previous season, because they beat the Rams last week. The first 3 teams all reached the Super Bowl that year. The Packers and the Colts. For the Colts, keep your eyes on Anthony Richardson. He definitely been effective with the deep ball. He redefined the offensive identity. Week 1, he averaged 16.5 air yards per attempt, most by any quarterback since Lamar Jackson did it in 2021, Week 3. Also, Richardson completed 2 passes that traveled 60-plus yards in the air. As far as air yards, he's the first quarterback in the next-gen era to record 2 such completions in a single game. Alec Pierce was a beneficiary of catching 3 passes for a career high, 125. Josh Jacobs of the Packers can become the first Packers running back with 100-plus scrimmage yards in the first 2 games of a season, since Ahman Green did in 2004. And Malik Willis was about to make his 4th start because Jordan Love was hurt. Stat knows that this will be the first time since 1992 that a quarterback other than Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, and Jordan Love will start for Green Bay in the first 6 weeks of the season. Jets and the Titans, both teams are all 1 much needed wins. Look at the Jets, they got to do better against the run. They gave 180 yards rushing. Most came outside the tackles. So they got to do better and focus on the better edges and improve their eye discipline. So then with Will Levis, keep your eyes on the Jets defense. The Titans storyline to watch, they failed to score in the second half of the Bears against the Bears' second season opener. The season opener, the Bears struggled. The Titans struggled offensively in the second half against the Bears in their second season opener. So Tennessee's averaged 7.2 second half points per game, the second worst last season. So that knows that Will Levis has the lowest completion percentage, not 59% for a quarterback with the minimum of 2 starts in the NFL since the start of last season. 49ers and the Vikings. Storyline for the 49ers is keep your eyes on Brock Purdy going up against the blitz, because under defensive coordinator Brian Flores, no team has blitzed more than the Vikings since the start of last season. But quarterback Brock Purdy of the 49ers is excellent against the blitz. He's ranked 3rd in NFL in QBR, 84, leading the league in passing yards per attempt whenever he's blitzed since 2023 start of the season in 2023. So we'll see what happens. Also, the 49ers has a chance to break their 7-game losing streak at Minnesota. For the Vikings, keep your eyes on Sam Darnold. Will he play a better game? Will he maintain what he did last week against the Giants? He's going to be challenged by the 49ers defensive front. But Stat knows that Darnold had 2 passing touchdowns in the Vikings win in Week 1 with the Giants. The last time Darnold threw 2 touchdown passes in consecutive weeks, in consecutive games, was in Week 14 and 15 of the 2018 season for the Jets. Patriots and the Seahawks, both teams are 1-0. This game's going to be in Foxborough. So you're going to need a strong performance by a running back. Ramondre Stevenson, who had 120 yards for the Seahawks. For the Patriots, keep your eyes on the Patriots offense. They was 1 for 4 in the red zone. See how much they will improve on that. Stat knows that the Patriots have lost 3 straight regular season games against the Seahawks. New England's last win came on December 7, 2008. They have beaten every other team at least once since 2009. The Giants and the Commanders, both teams are 0-1. Obviously, the storyline for the Giants is obviously quarterback Daniel Jones. The pressure's on him. He has to play better. This quarterback is throwing more pick sixes, which is 3, than touchdown passes, which is 2, since signing that $160 million contract in March 2023. Now, luckily for him, he's done well against Washington with 5 career victories, 10-3 touchdown to interception ratio. So we'll see what happens with Jones. For the Commanders, obviously keep your eyes on rookie quarterback of the Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Ran 16 times, 88 yards, and 37-20 lost to Tampa Bay with 7 carries coming on design runs. So see what he does against the Giants, who no longer blitz much. So we'll see what happens. Stat knows that Washington has a 7-game home losing streak, the longest active streak in the league. Chargers at the Panthers. It's not a great game, but the Chargers are looking to start 2-0 for the first time since 2012. LA has a 6-6 record against Carolina. The only win was in 2004. The Chargers' last game against the Panthers came during quarterback Justin Herbert's rookie season. That's the storyline for the Chargers. Panthers storyline is the Panthers played poorly against the run. They have 180 yards rushing. Now they're going to be facing the Chargers team that ran for 176 yards, including 135 of those 176 yards rushing against J.K. Dobbins. Seth knows that the Panthers gave up 47 points in their opener. If Carolina allows 30 points or more against the Chargers, it will be the most points allowed through the first 2 weeks in franchise history. Browns and the Jaguars, both teams are 0-1. Storyline for the Browns, obviously, is their offense for the Browns. They did not play well. They will be tested again with 4 tributes on injured reserve, including starting safety Juwan Thornhill. The Browns allowed an average of 14 points at home last season, but the figure ballooned to almost 30 points on the road. Jaguars' storyline is that the Jaguars got to improve on their third down. They were 2 for 10 on third down last week against Miami, going to 0 for 5 performance, so they're going to try to do their best to do better on third down. Stat knows that Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback of the Jaguars, has lost 6 straight starts, the longest active streak in the NFL. He has had a 48 QBR through that span. The Raiders and the Ravens. Raiders storyline to keep your eyes on is Davante Adams, wide receiver with the Raiders. Also, the Raiders have to contain the edge with defensive end Max Crosby needed help opposite of him because Malcolm Kuntz is on IR for his knee injury, and Tyree Wilson is out with an injured right knee. He was practiced Wednesday. All right, Ravens storyline to watch is Derrick Henry. How many carries is going to get? He only had 13 carries in the loss to the Chiefs. That's why he came to take the burden off of Lamar Jackson. So we'll see if he gets the opportunity to carry the ball more in this one. Set knows that Lamar Jackson's 122 yards rushing week 1 were the most by a quarterback during season opener in NFL history. 4-5 matchup between Cardinals and the Rams. Right. Storyline for the Rams. This matchup is that quarterback of the Rams, Matthew Stafford, has thrown for at least 300 yards in 3 straight regular season games. Going back to last year, that's the longest active streak in the NFL. Stafford didn't hit that mark in either game against Arizona, although he threw combined 5 interceptions in those victories. Storyline for the Cardinals is obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., the rookie out of Ohio State. He only caught 1 pass and was only targeted 3 times. See if he could bounce back and make an impact in Arizona's season opener. Stat knows that the Cardinals have an 8-game losing streak in divisional games, the longest active divisional losing streak. They're 1-11 in division games since 2022. It's also the worst in the NFL. Broncos and the Steelers. Looks like Justin Fields may start again in place of Russell Wilson dealing with his calf injury. He felt tightness in his calf during Thursday's practice of week 1. So we'll see how Justin Fields plays. He was turnover free last week against the Falcons, 17 of 23, 156 yards. Well, he didn't target the middle of the field. No, he had 10 or fewer air yards. The Broncos storyline is Bo Nix, the rookie quarterback. He threw 49 times in the opener with less desirable results. And he was sacked and intercepted twice. 13 of his 26 completions gained 4 yards or fewer. So he has to do better. And the running game, Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin, they got to do better. They combined for only 8 carries for 1 yard or fewer last week. So they got to be consistent in the running game. Steelers that knows that the Steelers have the best winning percentage against rookie quarterbacks versus rookie quarterbacks since Mike Tomlin took over as coach in 2007. Colts, the Bengals, and the Chiefs. Obviously, these two teams have a history playing each other in the postseason. Storyline for the Bengals is Joe Burrow. How well he will play. He does play well against the Chiefs during his 2 regular season appearances against them. He completed 79% of his passes and has a thrown an interception in those games, both for victory for Cincinnati. So we'll see what happens. The Chiefs storyline to keep your eyes on is the Cincinnati's pass protection will dictate this game. Burrow's lone defeat to Kansas City was in 2022 season's AFC Championship game. He was sacked 10.2% of his dropbacks. Stat to know is that all 4 matchups between Burrow and Patrick Mahomes has been decided by 3 points or fewer. It's the 3rd time since 1950 that has happened between 2 starting quarterbacks. But it's never occurred in 5 straight contests. You got the Sunday night capper, the Bears and the Texans. What to keep your eyes on is strength against strength matchup. Is Houston's trio wide receiver against the Bears secondary. You also got Nico Collins at 6 catches for 117 yards. Stephon Diggs caught 2 touchdown passes against Tariq Stevenson in that secondary and Jalen Johnson in that secondary. Keep your eyes on that with the Bears and the Texans. Keep your eyes on Caleb Williams. See if you can throw the ball down the field. The Texas defense did allow 3 passes over 50 yards. See what happens with that. So that knows that the Bears are 3-14 in road games since the start of the 2022 season, which is tied for the 2nd worst record in the NFL over that span. Only the Carolina Panthers have a worse record. It's 2-16. Then on Monday night, the Eagles and the Falcons. Storyline to watch for the Falcons. Obviously, Kirk Cousins played well against the Eagles last season when he was with the Vikings for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. All right, then you got Eagles storyline is the edge rushers of the Eagles, led by Nolan Smith Jr., Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, and Bryce Huff. They got to do better. They didn't have a sack. And they only had 1 quarterback hit on Jordan Love, so they got to step up against getting pressure on Kirk Cousins. That to know is that Cousins has thrown an interception 6 straight games. Monday Night Football, 1 shot at a time, the 2nd longest streak all time. All right, let's get to my picks of the week for this week. Last week I was 4-1 in week 1. The Giants over the Vikings, I was wrong about that one, but the other games I was right. Bills over the Cardinals, I was right. Dolphins over the Jaguars, I was right. Texans over the Colts. And the Cowboys over the Browns. So I'm 4-1 the picks of the week for the NFL. Let's get to week 2 NFL picks of the week. I got the Giants over the Commanders. They got to bounce back. They can't play any worse, than they did against the Vikings at home. Let's start with Daniel Jones. He has to play better. So I got the Giants winning. I got the Jets winning over the Titans. The Lions will beat the Buccaneers. I think the Lions are a flying team. They're playing at a high level. They're ready for a Super Bowl run. The 49ers over the Vikings. No Christian McCaffrey. He's going to be out. Going to reports, he's out. But I still think San Francisco will win. Find a way to get it done. Despite not having So this is Chris McCaffrey. He's out. Last but not least, Texas over the Bears. I like the Texas over the Bears Sunday night matchups. I like the Giants over the Commanders, Jets over the Titans, Lions over the Buccaneers, 49ers over the Vikings, and the Texans over the Bears. Giants, Jets, Lions, 49ers, and Texans are my winners for week 2 of NFL Picks of the Week. All right, so that's it. I think that's it for the show for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week, next Friday, to talk about the week that took place in college football and NFL. So until then, talk to you next week.